Kingdom men should be the heroes of the house. The first to say, ain't no evil in my house. See, as for me and mine, we gon' serve the Lord. That's right. Hey, as for me and mine, we trust in His word. Faithful to our wives, and grateful for our lives. Determined though to walk this narrow road. They say, where did all the good men go? But through Jesus Christ is how a good man grows. Hey, Monica, you're beautiful, and just the way you are. You more beautiful when you don't know you are. How you wake up in the morning with no makeup on your face, and you push me off the bed with both your legs cause you need space. Hogging all the covers when we cuddle up. Everybody like when mama wanna cut. Everybody snuggle up. Welcome to the MBK podcast. Welcome to S.O.L.E of Life Digital Networks, S.O.L.E Digital Networks, and MBK podcast. Today, we are going live. Yo, y'all know I don't like going live, but today I felt like this conversation right here deserved a live conversation. We were going to go live a little bit earlier today, but we had some technical difficulties, if you will. Production team not here, so we're actually using the webcam, which is my production team, which are my sons. My brother was supposed to call in, but we had some issues. My oldest daughter, she has epilepsy, and she had a seizure. All is well. The wife is home with her right now. I did check in; everything is good. We're doing great. And then my brother over here, my brother Mark. Mark, shout out to the people, Mark.
What's up, yo? What's going on?
So Mark is here. He had to make sure his babies were taken care of, so that we could go ahead and do this segment of our MBK podcast, which is amazing to me because today we're really going to be talking about what it means to be a father. That's the general statement, but what we're really going to be talking about is what it means to be a Black or African American father in society today, because everybody has a different type of definition as to what it means to be a father. To me, it's amazing because we have a lot of people that talk about fathers and what it means to be a father, but their definition to me is a little skewed. So that's what we're going to be tackling today as Black men, as fathers, and as husbands, because this conversation needs to be had. So whenever you come across this stream or this live, and replay it, engage us and let us know what it is you feel it means to be a Black or African American father. So I want to jump right into this thing because I think it's important. So here we go. So our first topic or question is, what does it mean to be a real father? Mark, what does it mean to be a real father, in your opinion?
I feel like being there for your kids
Okay.
by any means necessary.
Okay. So when we say being there for our kids, like how we talking?
More so in their development, in their growth.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And financially, of course.
Yeah.
People stick to financial thing. That's important, but their growth too is also important because how you cater to their development also tells you what kind of kids you'll have once they grow up and be out there on their own. You feel me?
Right, right. As we know, being a Christian, train up a child in the way they should go. When they're older, they will not depart from it. Right.
Right, right.
So, as African Americans, as fathers, period, we have to be involved.
Hmm.
Because some people think just because you live in a home with a woman, or just because you're there and you're making money and you're paying the bills and you're doing all this other stuff, that people think, okay, I'm being a father.
Right,
But I mean, all of that's a part of it,
right.
but you have to still be there as fathers, training them up. Even fathers can nurture, teaching our children different things, how to for our sons, teaching our sons how to be men and young men, and conduct themselves in public, right? And then teaching our daughters, how to be, young queens, and not allowing themselves or think that they have to speak, through their bodies, giving themselves to people, right?
Right.
And fathers are very important, vital parts of our children's development in society today. In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, they fathers get the short end of the stick,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh Fathers aren't really all that important in society, right? Because if you notice everything, and I'm not trying to women bash, trust me, but a lot of things are catered around women, because they say women buy more, women purchase more, women do this, women do that, right? So a lot of the times we cater to the emotion of a woman because we feel like they're going to bring in the finances, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at stuff like Mother's Day and Valentine's Day and birthdays and Christmases, you don't really see the same effort put into a day like Father's Day,
Right.
because they don't really look at us like that. Are we that important to society? I believe that we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that we need to change the narrative that of all a father has to do is be there but not be present.
Right. Right. Because it definitely is a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, fathers have to be present
Mm-hmm.
in their child and in the development of their children. So I would love to hear some sort of comments or whatever like that. What does it mean to be a real father? So y'all can leave y'all comments, in the comment section, and talk to us. What does it mean to be a real father? I came across a, a post, and this guy was talking about the difference between a mother and a father. And he was saying that fathers, all they have to do is show up every now and again, pay some child support and all this other stuff, and people will look at him as being a present or real father. But a mother has to sacrifice, a mother has to cook, a mother has to clean, a mother has to do this, a mother has to do that in order to be recognized as a real mother. I'm like, no, bro. I think the definition you got is kind of skewed.
Yeah. For real.
You know what I mean? Because a father just showing up every now and again, that I don't even know if we can really count that as being a father, right?
Right.
Because it's like you made these kids. These are your seed. These are your children. These are something that you help create. So every now and again phone call, every now and again visit, that's not really helping in the development of this child, of this young man or this young woman. So I disagreed with the post, and I got attacked. I got attacked by women
Oh man.
because these sisters said, "Oh, what just happened? Uh-oh, what just happened to the cameras? What just happened to the cameras? Forgive me, y'all." These sisters said to me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, sisters, what do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about? Uh I'm literally trying to help you guys see that I don't agree that a father is somebody that's halfway there or halfway present. I'm telling you guys that it takes more to be a father.
Mm.
And y'all coming at me.
Yeah, it do.
So what do we say to sisters like that though? What do we say to sisters uh that kind of argue back and forth at us when it comes to situations like that?
I feel like you can't really say nothing to them because they already have their own opinion and they stand strong on it. You just gotta leave them alone, let them be. But
Mm.
but it hurts if they already have children and they feel like that because then the kids is gonna grow up with that same mindset.
Oh, oh. Talk to me a little bit more, brother.
And I mean, it's hard.
You say the kids are going to grow up with the same mindset. So then that means that it's going to come be a continued.
Cycle.
And then what do we have? And then what do we have?
Kids growing up with the messed up mindset that they can do and do things that they seen their mom do and how that mom portray. And this is where the father comes in, where two parent household is well as a single parent household depends on. how present the father is that's not in that single household.
Mm,
Um, so you don't necessarily have to be in there. You don't have to necessarily live together in order for the kid to understand the balance of things between a man and a woman, the father and the mother role. That's how present the father is and the mother is with their communication levels when it
yeah,
comes to that child.
I agree. I agree because if there's no communication and that child is growing up in that toxic
Mm-hmm.
environment,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then now the child believes that this is the way that we're supposed to act. And children will play against both parents.
Yes.
That's why it has to be unity between the parents. I don't care if they living in the same household, like you said, or not,
Mm-hmm.
because as long as y'all communicating, then that child knows I can't play mommy against daddy and I can't play daddy against mommy. I know I need to do what I need to do because if I don't, they gonna both be on my behind.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And that's where we miss it. We're so busy trying to marginalize each other, in my opinion. Right? We're so busy trying to fight about who's been the most marginalized between a black man and a black woman. You know, black woman's been the most disrespected person in America. Then black men say, or black men being the most disrespectful men in America, people in America. But it's like we've all been disrespected as a race
Mm-hmm. All together.
all together. So once we learn how to communicate with each other, then maybe we can fix this thing that's broken out here in these streets with our children, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, fathers, you have to fight. And it's sad. I know it's sad. But fathers, we have to fight to be a part of what it is that our children in our children's lives. We cannot just allow the system to dictate to us what we can and cannot do as fathers. And we can't run from the responsibility. If the mother wants to go ahead and put you on child support and do all that stuff, you got to do what you got to do, right? Because it's going if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But that don't mean that you stop being involved in your child's life because you're trying to avoid taking care of that child. No, do what you have to do. Fight for your rights. Fight to be a father. And if the woman tries to keep you out or push you away or becomes bitter, you still stand firm and fight. Show your child that they're worthy and that they're worth fighting for.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
And I think that would change the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to be a deadbeat father. Society already has it mapped out to what it means to be a deadbeat father, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't understand the stress or the mental stress, the emotional stress that sometimes that some fathers have to go through just to be able to say hi to their child.
Right. That's true.
I would love to have a group of brothers up here that I know of. I can't speak about everybody else, but I can only speak about my general circle, the people that I'm around,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that want to be a part of their children's lives, and how hard it is sometimes for them to be a part of their children's lives. And don't get me wrong, I know some dudes. I'd be like, "Yo, bro, you need to get over there to see your baby." And us, we gonna kick you in the butt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, go be a part of that child's life because you don't want them to be messed up in society and think that it's okay to be what society claims that they already are.
And I feel like that's better than the system telling you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have your own brothers holding you accountable for what you're supposed to be doing, that is right towards your children. That's a lot better than the system.
Yeah.
A lot better than the system.
And I tell those, and I would tell sisters, listen, before you even go to the judge or go down to the courthouse, try to sit with that man. And brothers, try to sit with that woman and develop a plan as to how you guys are going to raise these children. As a matter of fact, before y'all lay down to raise a child or to have a child or to do the thing that might cause you to have a child, you need to have that conversation. Like, look, this is what I expect. This is what I want to do. If either you want to have a child or you don't want to have a child. But my thing to that is if you're not ready for a baby, then y'all both need to keep it zipped up.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? A baby can come out of that situation. And if y'all don't have good communication skills, y'all gonna mess up a whole nother human being because y'all wasn't ready to have a child. And women, we can't be vindictive or spiteful and go down there and have that child where that man says, you know what, I ain't ready for that. And then y'all start calling them all kinds of deadbeats. And brothers, we already know with the movement, we can't determine if we want to keep the child or not anyway, because it's their body. And we have to respect that too. So now you have to sit back and have a conversation. I know I've been in a situation, I've been there before. And I had to have those hard conversations, those hard talks,
Right. Right.
you know? Um, so yes, what does it mean? What does it mean to be a real father? I believe being a real father is being involved in your life, your child's life, whether you're living in a home or not living in a home. Next question. Can a woman be a father?
Can a woman be a father?
This one gonna get us in trouble if somebody come across this thing. Can a woman be a father?
Man. Oh,
Don't be
I
scared.
mean, I'm saying no. I know a lot of females probably won't agree with that, but
Mhm.
no. You you
Mm,
you can try to be, but at the end of the day, it's not the same as a physical father. Somebody who has the characteristics of a man. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Somebody who is a male. Male and female are two different words, just like there are two different types of people.
mhm.
So no, I don't feel like a female can be a father. She can be a father figure sometimes, but no. When it all boils down to it, no,
Nah.
no,
Short answer is a woman cannot be a father.
no.
And I know a lot of women will disagree, especially with the movements that we have going on in society today.
Hmm.
Because everybody can identify as what they want to identify as. And hey, if that's what floats your boat, that's what floats your boat.
Hmm.
But let's keep it 100. How can a woman train a man to be a man if they never had to be a man?
Never. First of all, females don't even go through half the stuff that males go through. In order for a female to say, "Oh, you need to be a better man," or "You need to be a certain type of man," this is what you need to do. The part of you saying this is what you need to do to be a better man, that's not even cool because you're not a man. At the end of the day, you're not a man, so you'll never know what a man has to go through on a daily basis. Just like a male never knows what a female has to go through, but a lot of men understand that versus a female understanding that she will never be a man. You feel me?
Mm.
You'll never hear a man say, "Oh, I'm gonna be a good mom." I ain't never heard
Even
that.
single fathers that we know.
Yeah, yeah, that we even know.
Single fathers that we know would never try to say Happy Mother's Day to each other.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
They still give props to the women. They don't
Hmm.
even recognize the bad mothers out there.
Hmm.
They still give props to the mothers that's doing what they supposed to do as mothers.
Right.
So that's where I get in arguments around Mother's Day and Father's Day all the time, because it's like, how do you then go and say Happy Father's Day to another woman? Talk about pulling double duty. No, you're not pulling any double duties. You're doing the duty that you're supposed to do as a parent.
Right. Right.
It's not our fault that you chose who you chose,
Right.
and vice versa.
Right.
That's why we have to be careful on who and what we choose
Hmm.
to lay down with and be with.
That's also plays a part as well.
You know?
Know who you're with before you even decide to have a child. If that comes out, if you have a child, know your partner, know the ins and outs, talk about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Get an understanding of each other better than trying to get an understanding once you got a child. Now you're trying to fix something that was never supposed to be together in the
Whoa.
first place.
Talk about it.
For real.
Talk about it.
For real.
And like I said, I get it. Sometimes parents, they have to be, it feel like they're being the both parents at the same time. But understand this, that child is always still emotionally somewhere down the line scarred.
Mhm.
I don't care what nobody say. If you grow up in a single parent home, you're missing something. The majority of the people that I come across that grow up in single parent homes are always missing something.
Mhm.
They're always emotionally stuck in some way, form, of fashion.
I agree with that completely.
Even the field that I work in, I'm a therapist.
Mhm.
And when I see people that's going through, is either they're in a single mother home or a single father home.
Mhm.
And these kids are looking for that piece that's missing.
That's missing. This is. I'm about to give an example. As far as being in a single home, or not. Let's not even say a single home. Let's just say a single home where one parent is doing all the work versus two parents working together with the child. So if you have a single parent, a single mom or dad that's working with a kid, we're gonna say homework. We're working with homework with the kid. The kid's development is torn because that one parent that's doing it all the time, whether it be the mom or the father, is going to get frustrated.
Mhm.
Where if you have both parents working together, the parent that's getting frustrated can say, "Hey, I'm getting frustrated with this child right now. Can you step in right now and help this kid with homework?" Where the kid's development won't be affected because now the kid's wondering, "Oh man, now I gotta sound this word out, or I gotta do this math work. And if I don't do it, my mom gonna slap me, or my dad's gonna slap me, or he's gonna beat me." Now you got all these mental processing that's going on
Mhm.
in their brain that's stunting their growth.
Mhm.
They're stunting their growth versus the other parent stepping up and saying, "Okay, I'm going to take the lead in this situation, and I'm gonna help them out with their homework." You feel me?
Mhm.
That's just something small in their development. That's something I gotta do. That's something
Mhm.
that I do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And as though one of my kids is with, what I'm saying, his mom, and I'm married, and the other kid is with me and my wife.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to make sure I balance all that out. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Make sure both of their development is up here
Right.
versus one kid lacking because I'm not in the household.
Mhm.
I'm trying to
Mhm.
be present as well as present with my other son.
That's right.
You
That's
feel me?
right. That's right. And you get to tap out.
Yeah.
And as a father, we do that. We call and we check in on a child.
Mm-hmm.
We call, we've been my FaceTime the child. And ladies, when you have a man that wants to be present, don't try to stop that.
Yes, please don't. Please.
Right? Call
Please.
that father, have communication with that father. Because a lot of times when you break up with somebody and there's a child involved and we have a little bit of bitterness or brokenness, you don't want to communicate with that person, but you always need to communicate with that person. I don't care how old that child is. Oh, they're a teenager, they could talk to you by themselves. I don't care. I need you as the mom
Mhm.
to talk to me
Mhm.
because the kid gonna tell you what they want to tell you.
Exactly.
But if I'm calling up, I'm like, yo, how so and so doing? You know what I mean in school today? How he or she doing in school today? Blah 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 blah. And you not talking to me because you don't want to hear my voice, and you say call them and ask them. That makes no sense to me, ladies. Help me understand that process. I don't know. I'm not a woman. I'm not. So I don't know. But it's time for us as men and women to sit down and have those conversations.
Mhm.
And as men, it's okay, brothers. It's okay. I don't care what nobody say. You're not being a sap. I can't stand that term. If you're loving on your child's mother or even the woman in your life, right? But particularly your child's mother, right? Even if you guys aren't in a relationship, I think that you ought to still love that woman because guess what she gave you? She gave you the gift of life. She gave you a child. That's what a father is. You can beat me up. You can call me names. Probably even talk to me to your friends. Call me all kinds of whatever.
Mhm.
But guess what? I'm gonna still love you because you're the mother of my child. I can't despise you. I can't hate you. And I would never talk down to you to my child. That's how I feel.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of brothers out there that feel that way, but there's a lot of brothers out there that's also frustrated.
And I've never done that. Talk down about my kids' mother to them.
Mhm.
That's not. You'll find females do that more than males. I don't really hear too many males saying, "Oh yeah, f that woman, and I don't like her," and then she says that. No, no.
I've heard brothers, and I'm like, brother, you can't do that, right? You can't do that, brother. That's not it, you know. And I'm just happy to because I had a father,
Mhm.
that taught me that I had that balance.
And see, I grew up in a single household with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Just my mom, no father figure in the household, and so, and that's what another thing I take inside of me as far as the things that I know that I lack. I try to make sure I'm there for my kids because I know what it feels like not to have a father in
Mm,
certain times when you was growing up, or when I was growing up, things that I wanted a father there for. feel me, that I didn't have a father there for. So I try to make sure I'm there on top of them type of things with my kids.
Right.
Of course, the females be like, money, 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 money. When you gonna get money, money, money? But it's more than that. It's
Right.
definitely way more than
It's
just money.
definitely way
It's
more than
way more
money.
than money.
Money is a small part of it.
Hmm.
Because you can always go out there and that's what some men think. Oh, I'm out there making the money.
Hmm.
I'm being a good dad. Nah, bruh.
No, no.
No, because when that money not going, they want that time with dad.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
They want to probably play that video game with dad.
Hmm.
They want to go, watch that movie with dad. They want to go run a track with dad or just take a walk around the park with dad, whatever they can do, and just sit down and talk to dad. And I guarantee you, as a father, and I made some mistakes because I was a young father. I was a father at 16 years old.
You and me both, bro. I'm talking about as far as making mistakes. For real.
So I didn't know what I was doing. I
Yeah.
was learning on the job. And my oldest son to tell you, yo, we was learning on the job, right? And but that's all they wanted. They don't remember all the stuff that we brought them.
Right.
They don't remember the birthday parties and the
Mhm.
this and that. They remember the quality time
Exactly.
or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
So as fathers, we got to make sure that we're spending that time with our children.
For real.
Your daughters, you are a father, you are the first love of your daughter. You're her first true love. If you're not showing her how it is to be loved and respect and treated like a queen, she gonna go searching for somebody else. But the way that see you treat her mother, whether she's in the home or not, that's how she's gonna believe that she's supposed to be treated by other men. So we gotta be careful with that.
Mhm.
And we gotta also teach our sons how to be respectful to women,
Right.
right? Because if we don't, then they're gonna continue to create generations of disrespectful men.
And really, what to watch out for real, for real.
Yeah,
What to watch out for with certain females as well as females with certain men.
yeah.
Like what's out here? Because this generation right now, bro.
Whew.
Oh my goodness.
That's a conversation for a day. Because they don't believe in the sanctity, first of all, the sanctity of marriage.
Mhm,
They don't believe in the unity in relationships. They just jump in and out,
mhm.
and then they think that they can just have like as many partners as they want.
Right.
And they don't really understand what it means to contaminate the body.
For all them partners,
Yeah.
you having a piece of each person that you've been with, even in a relationship, like even having intercourse, that person's with you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That
Mhm.
person's with you, even though you might not think it, but that person's with you, even after you done left them like
Mhm.
4, 5, 6 years later, you done moved on.
Mhm.
You really, really have it.
Mhm.
You really,
That's
really have it.
why that's why I used to be kept yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because now when you don't, it's just so many different people that you're bringing into the relationship. So all that brokenness,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we talk about, brokenness. That's brokenness because you're shattered. You invited so many people into this relationship, both male and female,
Mm-hmm.
out here just whoring around. I'm keeping it 100, whoring around, and now you got all these soul ties.
Right. Right.
So you're expecting something from this woman or you're expecting something from this man and they can't give it to you. But then guess what you're doing? You're passing it down to your children and your children's children all the way down. And everybody's feeling you know, uh, that brokenness,
Mm-hmm.
or you know what I mean? Or that disunity in the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, oh, I, Sue's my other baby mama, she don't act like that. Well, I'm not your other baby mama. You know what I mean? And men, I'm telling you this. I'm gonna be real with you and real candid, brothers. I'm telling you this. As men, I don't care how many baby mamas you have. Your children need to know each other.
Yes.
And if they don't, that's a problem. You should always make sure that your babies are know each other and are connected. And if you're with a woman that don't want that, then you need to leave her where she at.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
You should never let a woman keep you away from your children.
Or even if you have a female that knows you have children, right? And she don't feel as though that's her responsibility to either cater to the kid as well as you. that's not something you should deal with either. You should want to be in a relationship with somebody, and that's not your kid, and she has to accept you as well as your child. For females as well.
Yes,
If you're with a
exactly.
man and he doesn't accept your child or your children as far in with you, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
Exactly.
It's not going to work at all.
So we gotta make sure that we're doing what we need to do, um, brothers. We gotta make sure. Yes, we putting the sisters in it too, but brothers, this is something that we have to do. It's time for us to stand up and take our rightful place as the head of the home. I don't care if you're in it or not. When it comes to those children that you have as fathers, you got to make sure that they are well rounded and that they're kept. And don't argue with that woman. I don't care if she call you black, bloop, blop, blip, blap, blip, blip, blup. It's hard. Yes, it is. But you say, you
Yes,
know
Lord.
what?
Yes, Lord.
It's hard.
It's
It's
hard.
hard. She call you the blah, blah, every name in the book. Blah, blah, blah. But understand this. That's because she probably never had a father.
And for men, just think about this. Think about the freedom that you have to see your children before you do anything to a female. Before you do anything, the freedom that you have right now, like you can see your kid. Maybe if your baby mom or the mother of your child is that type of person, she's one of them bitter moms that don't let you. Then you got some work to do. But if you have that opportunity to do that whenever you want to at free will, don't try to tarnish that with what you think is going on with them or to manipulate them in front of the kids, anything like that. You don't want to tarnish the relationship, especially in front of a kid. The kid gonna grow up with that mental in their brain. Like I remember when I seen my dad cuss out my mom a few times, and I remember the neighbors going back and forth from that. That affects kids.
It
That,
does.
that affects kids in the long run.
Yes, and yes, Auntie, it is true. You cannot. What you said is so profound. Like when them men go to when them sons go to their fathers and they don't get the response and the things that they need, it hurts.
Hmm.
And then when that father is gone and you never really sit and have that conversation with them, you got to live with that pain for the rest of your life. I
Yes.
tell the young people that I mentor, the young men that I mentor that don't have a relationship with their fathers, write down what you want to ask them. Don't say you don't care. Young men and women, to be honest.
Hmm.
But we're talking about them young men. Write down what you want to ask them so that you can have that conversation with them. Right? They might not be ready to have it yet, but you make sure you do your due diligence because when they're not here and you're left with those questions, you got to carry that with you. At least if you go to them when you of age and you really want to sit and have a conversation with them, if they can't give it to you, at least you got it off your chest.
Right.
And you don't have to carry that hurt with you for the rest of your life.
Right.
Because then you don't know how to really be a real father. Because sometimes we go to the extreme.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna be nothing like him. And then you go to the extreme and you ruin the child anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or you become just like him and you ruin the child. You got to find that middle ground.
Yeah.
Right? You got to find it. If you don't find that middle ground, then it's going to be something off. Like my oldest son, he's not biologically mine, right? But I've been raising him since he's 2 months, right? I met his mother when I was 16, she was 19, and I decided to step in and be a father. And my son knows this and we talk about it a lot. He finally has a relationship with his bio dad at 30 years old. But I always told my son when he was young because he didn't want anything to do with his bio. I'm like, no, bro, you need to know.
Hmm.
Because when you look in the mirror, you want to know where I get my eyes from,
Yes.
where I get that nose from,
Yes.
where I get this attitude from, why I act this way, why I walk this way, why I talk this way. You want
Mhm.
to know the answer to those
And
questions.
that's so true because I was adopted. So what you're saying right now is so real because once the person who raised me, God rest her soul, once she passed away, I started seeking out my biological family, and come to find out, when I finally got up with my dad's parents, he had passed away already. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So I never got to see what he looked like or have a conversation with him or
mm,
anything. So part of me now is like, all right. And then the fact that he passed away at 35 and I'm 38, I feel like I done passed him. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm,
And learning certain things, especially when it comes to my kids, I'll try to be there for them as much as I can now
mhm,
because of that. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying? Any questions they got for me, ask me, ask away. I'm never too shy, or just ask me. Don't think it's gonna be something that daddy gonna get me if I ask him this. No, say it.
That's right.
Say it. Get it off your chest.
Right.
And for parents, you have to be open with your kids too. You got to be calm enough to have them ask you these type of questions. You feel me? Because certain kids won't ask certain parents because of the way the parents might react.
Mhm.
You feel me? You got to be a type of person to be transparent with them.
Yeah.
To be transparent with your kids.
You too young. You too now there's certain things that my kids, my younger kids might ask me, but I'll say when you get a little older, daddy
Mhm.
answer that. But I give them the broad answer, like the G answer, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
He says
Mhm.
like, okay,
Mhm.
but it's more to it than that
Right.
because I don't want to cause confusion either.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you gotta be open with your children, man.
Mhm.
And you ain't got to talk down about their mama. When you go pick them up for your visitations, because some of us have visitations. I hate visitations. I think that you should be able to call the mom up and be like, yo, I'm coming to get little Bookie. We're
Yes.
gonna go get some ice cream, some cake. We might go to
Yes.
McDonald's. I had little Bookie home at such and such time. Or they're gonna stay with me and I'll make sure they get to
Right.
school in the morning.
Right. What
I
you?
think that
Yeah.
that's how that should
Yes.
be.
I agree too. I definitely agree.
It shouldn't be no, the
Definitely agree.
courts don't have to be involved. It should be you two being able to sit down and have this conversation. I don't know why so much bitterness in our community when it comes to that. We didn't work out.
Mhm.
We, me and you.
Mhm.
That has nothing to do with what we created.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's how that thing should work.
That's how it should work.
But it's sadly it's not like that. So what do we do as fathers, as men, when we have when our children's mother won't allow us to have that when we're trying to have that? And what do we do when the courts aren't for us and they help create that divide? Fight for your kids. You don't give up. You let them see that you're still there and you're going to always be there. Regardless of what the courts say, regardless of what they mama say, they grandmama mama say, whoever, you be there and you be present because they're going to reach out to you anyway.
Mhm.
You don't never have to tell a child who was wrong in the relationship because when they get older,
They're gonna
they're going to
say.
see it themselves.
They're going to say.
Long as you still stay calm and patient,
Mhm.
what's the fruit of the spirit? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You gotta be that. That's what you gotta be. You cannot change or allow yourself to be controlled emotionally, men, because somebody want to try to tell you you can't or you can't. Just be present. Just be present. Show up to the parent teachers conferences. Well, I don't know when they are. You the father, right?
Mhm.
Your name on that birth certificate? You better make sure your name on that birth certificate, number one. You could go up to that school and you can ask for the roster.
Mhm.
You can ask for a calendar. Yeah, you could do that. Guess what? You can show up to that parent teachers conference.
And this is by law. Everything you're saying is by law. You can actually do that, even if you don't have joint custody. You could do that.
Your name on that birth certificate?
Yep, I was reading all that in the online before,
Yeah.
where it says you have the rights to know when your kids' doctor's appointments are,
Mm-hmm.
when they have school appointments,
Mm-hmm.
when they have dentist appointments,
Mm-hmm.
when they need to eat. You have the
Mm-hmm.
right to know all that. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're in a situation where the mom don't want to let you know anything, you have that right by law.
Mm-hmm.
The man has that right by law, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's the man that don't know his rights, what he has the right to. So he'll just be like, "All right, I'll listen to what she got to say. Maybe she knows what she talking about." No, bro, you have the right to know all as much as she knows. You have the right because both of y'all have this kid together.
Exactly.
Even though y'all don't live in the same household, y'all still have the right to know these same things together. Together.
Brothers, don't let nobody dictate to you how much time and energy you should put into your children. Stop arguing with that woman. It ain't no need to. Let her go live her life. You live your life. But when it comes to that child, y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do.
Mhm.
See, and this is why we gotta stick to biblical principles too. And I know some people probably when they come across this and they hear this part, when the man and the woman leave their home, they parents, and the two become one flesh, which is having a child. Y'all gotta understand that that's y'all together.
Mhm.
That's you two. Y'all came together and y'all made that baby.
Mhm.
And just because y'all couldn't work it out as adults, a lot of them is children now having children, so that's a problem too. But because grandma had their first child at 14,
Mhm.
and then now the child had her first child, your mom had you at 14, and now you had yours at 14. So now all of y'all done messed up a whole generation after generation,
Mhm.
and y'all don't know how to be that, but learn. Sit down, have a conversation. Understand that it takes two to make a child, not one.
Yes.
This is the argument. And women say, well, it's my body. I got to carry this baby. You're right. You're right. You do. You chose that.
Mhm.
Just like he chose to lay down with you to help create that. That's still a part of him too.
Mhm.
Yes, the child is growing in your body, but that child came out of his body.
First. First.
So let that man be a father. Y'all need to work it out. Y'all need to come together, sit down, communicate, and work it out so that that child can be nurtured and be everything that God intends for that child to be.
Right.
That's what we want. We want to build up men that's going to be present and men that's going to be involved in their kids' life from birth all the way until, because parenting don't stop.
At all.
I don't care how old that child is. Parenting never stops. Not saying we're supposed to enable our kids to do foolish stuff, but we ought to parent them. And the parenting style will change as the child gets older, because now when they become young adults and adults, it becomes you move on side of them. Now you're walking with them through life as fathers, right? But you're still there. You're still guiding them. I always tell my children this: don't make the same mistakes I made. Make different mistakes,
Mm.
because that means you learned from my mistakes,
Mhm.
and you're more than likely doing better than me.
As you should want to see your kids do better than you.
That's it.
You should really want that.
And then they make different mistakes. Now their children learn from me, learn from them, and then they're going to make their mistakes
Mhm.
because we're human.
Mhm.
But don't make the same mistakes.
Especially if you got the blueprint in front of you.
Oh, and then maybe we could get out of this generational poverty. How about that? All right, our final point here, topic is: can a woman teach a boy how to be a man? Which we went over. Can a woman teach a boy how to be a man? We just went over that, really. But the short answer is, I don't think so. I don't think so.
And all I can hear is a bunch of women just saying, "Oh my God, are they really saying that?" But I mean, at the end of the day, you just like a female. A man can't teach a female how to. You know what I'm saying? It's certain personal things that females do that men don't do
I can't teach my daughters how to be a woman.
at all,
I got 3 of them. I wouldn't even try to teach what am I gonna teach them?
brother.
I can't teach them how to wipe. I can tell them, "Look, you wipe, boop, boop, boop." I can't teach them how to put on a pad. That's just
No,
practical stuff.
real. That's real. They be like, "You trying to be funny?" No, I'm dead serious.
I
I'm
can't.
serious. I'm serious.
A mother can talk to their child about something or whatever, but then how do you teach them how to walk as a man in society?
Right.
Right? We got you got to think about this, and I'm just talking about the people I know.
Mhm.
I can't talk about everybody in the world. There's a billion people, billions of people in this world.
Mhm.
Women that I know that single moms that have sons, right, whose fathers aren't in the picture. They probably either jail or dead or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And they don't really have no real mentors in the child's life and in the son's life anyway. I'm talking about boys right now. We're gonna talk about women, girls, and we could do that later. But I'm talking about young men, boys, young kings, princes. They will punish them, right? And they think that they got to make them tough.
Mhm.
So they punch them, pop, 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 give them body blows, this, that, to the third. And then what they say, you better not cry.
Mhm.
So now you're teaching them not to be emotional.
Mhm.
You're teaching them to keep their emotions in, right?
Mhm.
And if they do cry, you call them punk, you call them this, you call them that, you call them this, you call them that. So now when they get in a relationship with a woman that look like their mama, they can't show that woman emotion. because you told them to be emotionless by the way that you raised them, because you think that that's how you're supposed to raise a man. But if you have a man that's been raised by a man, they would be able to tell you that it's okay for a man to show emotion. It has to be.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, then now we got mental illness.
Hmm.
Now we're aggressive.
All that's
Now we're
built up.
angry.
All that is built up. All that is built up. You bring that into your relationship. Now you wonder why your relationship is crazy and wild because of what you've already been through.
Because mama told me I shouldn't do that.
Hmm.
Mama told me not to show you my emotion.
It's like, brother, what's wrong with you? I can't cry right
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with me.
now. I'm good.
I'm a man.
Hmm.
Ain't nothing wrong with me. Bro, you broke.
And not because of not because of the woman that raised me, my mom, but I used to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Hold
Really?
everything inside. Yeah, I used to be like that. Long,
Why?
long time ago. Not letting things out. I don't know. I don't know, but I
Did you
did
feel
it.
like you had to be tough? Because if you showed emotion, you would be thought of as weak.
Mm, more so of what would go on after I showed that emotion. I think so.
Mm,
Like how people would perceive me as, yeah, like you say, as being weak.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Society say that now.
Mm.
I see too much social media, and I see too many women on social media talk about something. We got all these emotion, all these men with all these emotions. What do you mean? First they was aggressive, then they didn't want to be in a relationship, then they was abusive. Now they this. Now when they show emotion, they weak. All these weak men with all these emotions. What?
You don't have to be weak because you show emotion.
Are you kidding me? So what do you want? How do you want us to be, ladies? Do you do you want us to show emotion or don't you want us to show emotion? We try to show balance. When we show balance, now we're not picking the side. We like no. Come on. We don't look, brothers. All I can say is this. Love yourself.
For sure.
A lot of us have been through a lot of things as men growing up. Some of us single homes. Some of us had both parents or what we call a nuclear family, both parents at home.
Hmm.
But just because they were home doesn't mean that they were present. Just because we had a father in the house doesn't mean that he was present. So it's still something missing because some people think that that's all it takes to be a father is to be in the house. You gave him my chicken breast. I worked too hard for that chicken breast. I get the big piece of chicken, right? And it's sad because I used to be that. I tell my wife all the time, hold up.
Mm,
You ain't gonna get them kids my chicken breast.
I need that plate first.
That's my breast,
Mhm.
right? Like, I mean, come on. If you don't like breast, your thigh, your wing, whatever. But that's what society taught us it was supposed to be.
and,
That's
and for that, as far as society goes, I would say do what works for you.
mm,
I would say do what works for you because
mm,
sometimes people go in the way of what society portrays what you're supposed to do,
mm.
and that's not always what it is. You know,
Exactly.
everybody is different. Everybody is definitely different. So if society has a blueprint mapped out for you and that don't seem to be working for you, I say do what's best for you.
Right. Sit down with your woman or your ex-woman or all of your baby mamas and figure out how to raise them children together. It takes a village. And some of y'all got a village. Some of you brothers got a village. Y'all sitting here clowning Nick Cannon because he got 10 and y'all got like 25 running around. And sadly, they don't even know each other. Can you imagine having children that don't know each other around the same age? And then they end up in the same schools together?
And happen to just connect with each other.
What?
I know a friend like that. I have a friend that actually is like that. They was beefing, right? This is the story. They was beefing with each other on the street, like shooting, bucking back and forth at each other. And they got locked up together. When they got locked up together, that's when they found out that they was brothers after sitting down and talking in jail. So from this point on, they have respect for each other. But up until that point, they was beefing.
You telling me we had brothers trying to kill brothers
Mm,
because they never knew that they was brothers?
mhm.
That's some Abel and Cain stuff, but at least Abel and Cain knew they was brothers.
Yeah.
But this is why we are our brother's keeper. We have to be our brother's keeper. And we have to men, black men, we have to hold each other accountable,
Yes.
right? We can't sit there and get mad at these women for linking up and joining together to try to, black girl magic and all of
Hmm.
that.
And the brothers can't do that.
We gotta figure that out too, homies. Like we really gotta figure it out. Like, how do we start a movement where where black men, and there's probably some out there, but link with us because this is what we want to do, right? My brother's keeper. Mark, what's the name of your organization?
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, put me in, coach. Right? So we want to take and get these brothers and even these young girls off the street and help them and put strong black mentors, male mentors in their lives to show them the other side of it. Because there's a lot of femininity going on.
Hmm.
And I love feminine women. Don't get it twisted. Right? And just because you feminine don't mean that you don't know how to handle business. You ain't got to be hard no more, sisters. Y'all feel like there's a lot of sisters out here. Oh, I gotta be hard. No, that's a choice. Because there's brothers out here right now that want to take some of that burden off of you, but you gotta allow them to. And I know you've been hurt. I know you've been broken. And I know the first man in your life that hurt you was your father. But that you don't gotta look at every man that way. And brothers, I know dad wasn't there to show you and teach you how to be a man. And then some of them was there that told you that it was drugs and guns and going out there in the street. That's how you prove your manhood. No, that's not what it is. A real man takes care of their families. They're the head of their households and they make sure things are running smoothly. And they go ahead and they give that woman charge of the house. But they understand when he come home and he sits with his wife, they sit and they put the plan together and they allow the women to maintain or maintenance the house. What I mean is take care of the children. But he's still there, governing it too, right? We think, okay, we tell her, you do, girl, you better do this, do that, do this, do this, do this. Here go a couple dollars, pay them bills. You're done. No, hey babe, how was things at home today? How are the children acting? All right, I'm about to sit them down and have a conversation with them. Do you need a break, or you want to come in and join this conversation? Right? Take a day of the week and you sit down with your wife and your children, all of your children, if you're married, and you sit down with them children and you have a conversation with them as a family. How about that?
Hmm.
I say a family that prays together stays together.
Indeed. Indeed.
We got to get back to principles. And I'm talking about biblical principles because I am a believer. I believe in Christ. I believe in the Bible. So I think biblical principles have to be a part of the home to make sure that the home is stable. Because when there's no God, there's no stability. And he charged us. He charged us to love our wives as Christ loves the church.
Hmm.
How did he love the church? He died for her. He sacrificed for her. And as men, that's what we need to do for our wives and for our children. We have to submit one to another so that we can make sure we are raising strong children.
Hmm.
Brother, go ahead before we close it out. Anything you want to add?
I pretty much said everything I had to say for this segment.
Yeah, yeah. This was a good one. Look, we're gonna be back here. I told y'all before the MBK podcast, we coming back. Um, Most of the times we're gonna pre-record our segments or our episodes, but I felt like this one we just needed to go live for, man, just to get our feet wet. Sorry that things happened the way that they did, but I believe all things work together for the good of those who love God and call according to His purpose. So this is how it was supposed to be. Just keep us in prayer. We'll keep you in prayer. Um, and guess what? Everything that you're looking for, brothers, everything that you're looking for, it can be found in you because you were created in his image. Listen, I love you all with the love of God. Ain't nothing you can do about it. We can do all things through Christ that gives us strength. And never forget, we are our brother's keepers and our sister's protector. So let's make this thing happen. Love you guys. Peace. Hope they don't think it's gonna be like this when they bust a grown. But these the little things that make our house a happy home. And these the little things that really make our family strong. You should see the way they smile when they know daddy home. Forgive me for the times I didn't treat you right. Forgive me for the times I didn't lead you right. There were times we almost gave up on our marriage. Too scared to share what we felt, cause we felt like we'd be embarrassed. I stand before you with these open flaws. Only Christ can fix these broken walls. Bridges I burned that I thought I'd never walk across. But God restored it all. I found forgiveness at the cross. Kingdom men should be the heroes of the house. The first to say there ain't no evil in my house. See, as for me and mine, we gon' serve the Lord. And as for me and mine, we trust in His word. They faithful to our wives. They grateful for our lives. Determined though to walk this narrow road. They say where did all the good man go? But through Jesus Christ, it's how a good man grows. Hey, turn from my wickedness, and Jesus healed my sickness. Ever since that day, I've been put on the devil's hit list. And sometimes ministry can turn into a mistress. I don't want my children growing to be misfits. Never forget what wifey told me when it all began. Why don't you pray with me the same way that you pray with them? Why won't you say to me the same thing that you say to them? Amen, it hurt me just to see my family pain again. I don't want to see her leave. I'm still learning how to lead. I hit my knees and intercede for what we need. She ain't asking